Well, here we are. I think we're live. It looks like there's some folks in the chat already. Welcome to Claire, all the way from Switzerland. That's wonderful. It's nice to have you with us. It's, I think, the first time we've had a person from overseas watching our live. And we do ship overseas. If you see something you like, you're welcome to bid. Beth Sparks, I knew you'd be here. I have some things that I think you'll like. Pamela, it's nice to see you, and blessings to you too. Sharon, hello, good to have you back. And Lisa Hemphill, nice to see you too. We're going to let a couple of more folks come into the chat here. My Heart is here, good to see you again. Well, today will be interesting because it's a weekend, so I don't know how many people will show or who's free or who's busy, but we'll all have fun. Elsie, oh good, I'm glad you're here. There's something you'll like in this particular sale. Cindy, good to see you here too. Jean, nice to have you here. I believe Zeno is lurking, so your hellos are not going unnoticed. He helped me, oh yes, there he is. Thank you very much for your help getting set up this morning. I muddled through without him yesterday, but he fixed a few things, so it should be even better today. Stephanie, oh, from Thrifting Adventures. Hi, it's good to have you here. You're up early. Ann Nunez in Chicago, that's great. And Brenda from Georgia. Lynn Bruja, hello there. Carla, oh, your first time being on a live sale. Well, I haven't done a whole lot of them, so in a minute here, I'll tell you the rules. And Stars, Naomi Smith, it's good to have you here. Lynn, nice to see you again. And let me tell you a little bit about how I do my live sales, because everyone has a little different way of doing it. The way that I do mine is that anyone is welcome to watch this, but if you want to chat or bid, you do have to be subscribed an hour before the broadcast. And this is the 12 days of live sales. This is day number 4, so there's we're only a third of the way through. There's 8 more of these to go. And there will be another live sale that'll be devoted to jewelry and boudoir items. So if you don't see what you love today, well, you'll have another chance coming sometime next week. Geneva's here, Willie Joe's here. Yes, you're putting the Christmas lights up. Good day to do it. It's actually warm outside. And Medic 2010 is here. Mary Rinks is here from Michigan. Dover, New Hampshire, Tracy Day. Margaret Richardson. Oh, that's great. Yeah, a lot of people are setting up for Christmas or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or whatever they do about now. Sue Galembiski, I think I'm saying that right. Nice to have you here. A lot of familiar names and a few new folks. Debbie from Chicago, hi there. Always good to have you. So the way we do the sale is that everything is going to be auctioned, and everything will have a starting price, which I'll tell you at the beginning. I will let everybody bid while we talk about the item, tell you a little bit about what I think makes it special. And then when we get closer to the end, I don't do a countdown and I don't do just in case. What I do is I say fair warning. Fair warning is like they do at real auctions. And, you know, I come from the real world of this, so I wanted it to be as close as possible. Fair warning means the bid's getting close to closing. And with us on computers, what it means is there's about 15 or 20 seconds left, and we all know there's a lag. So when you hear fair warning, put in your last bid, what you're actually willing to pay, because whoever is the high bidder, at the very end, I say fair warning, we give it about 15 or 20 seconds, then I say going, gone, sold, bid end, and I put bid end into the chat, and at that point, whoever the high bidder is the winner, and it's what I see on my end. So, you know, last second bids are great, but you take a chance of not getting it. So please put in what you're willing to bid. I also will then announce who the winner is and what they paid. And then you'll see information at the bottom here of how you can reach me and contact me about arranging payment. I see Claire here, Juanita, Aaron, Oliver is here, Jan Goodwin is here. So Mooney is here, great, from Minnesota, nice to see you. Well, it's really nice to have some familiar names in the chat and a few new people as well. Diane is here. The theme today is it's sparkly, glittery, but also things you would have in the boudoir, things that you would use for stepping out in style during the holidays or any time of year, or things that you might use to dress up your dresser. So we are going to, hi Kelly B, nice to have you here. So we'll get started here in just a minute. I just wanted to see if there was anyone else coming in. It doesn't sound like the Christmas music is too loud, but it's a nice thing to have in the background. And with no further ado, I guess we'll go ahead and get started here. Now, a couple of these are customer request items, and we actually are going to try to do a baker's dozen today because I have one item that a customer wanted who works during the weekdays and asked me to put on today, and it'd be a nice thing for a display. So we will have that coming too. The first thing we're going to start out with something nice and easy and cute, and that is, let me see how I can hold these to display to you. I didn't really think about that beforehand, did I? Okay. It was funny, I was watching Vintage Uprising Texas, and the guys took over the channel last night, and then they didn't know how to use any of the equipment. It was very funny. I'm going to try not to emulate that. Okay, so our first bid is on a lot of 6 napkins. These are hankies. These are printed hankies, and these are all 1950s, 60s era, and you can see in another video, we'll do ones that have embroidery, but today it's all printed. So we have a nice floral here. These are starting at $6 for the lot, and this is for the one money takes all. So $6 is the opening bid. We have this very nice, I thought, rather stylish one here with the little, I think they're forget-me-nots. We've got the yellow one here. We've got this little pink and brown here, and a lot of people like to take these out when they're going out because it's a little more elegant than having a wadded up napkin in your pocket. And this one's especially cute with the butterflies. We've got Kelly B at $15 is our opening bidder, and Lily of the Valley, thank you, Beth. I don't know why, I know better than that. Of course it's Lily of the Valley. It's funny how sometimes things I've seen for years and years suddenly escape me at the last minute, but I guess that's just part of seeing a whole lot of stuff. So these are the 6. We have a bid of $15, and they're all in good condition, no stains, no tears. I tried to be very careful of that. And so I think since we have a bid of 15, I am going to call fair warning here. We've got Aiden at 16 is the current high bidder. So get your last bids in because we're getting close to the end here. Hi, Susan. Nice to see you, Susan Jackson. And yes, Mooney, I am getting older. Kelly B is at $17 for the lot of 6 handkerchiefs. And I'm going to show them one last time so you all see what we're bidding on here. The butterflies I thought were really cute. Carol Bloom is in at 18 as our high bidder, and we are going once, we are going twice, and we are sold bid end. And I'm sorry about that, Kelly. The bid end came in just before your bid, so the high bidder is Carol Bloom at $18, and thank you very much, Carol. I will write that down here for you, and then we will arrange how to get it to you after the end of all of this. So let me just do something really quickly here. Okay. The next piece that I want to show is this little piece here. This is a cigar box purse, and a lot of you may have seen these. They were very popular to do in the, well, gosh, they've been around for years. People have been making cigar boxes into purses for a long time. This one is not wildly old. This one probably dates sometime into the 1990s or 2000 even, but it's in really good shape, and it's very glittery, and it's got all its stuff. So again, this is not a really old piece. This is pretty contemporary, and I just wanted to make sure you know that. I don't usually sell a lot of newer things, but this one, crazily enough, comes with a little ashtray. So that's something different. Or maybe it's more of a, I'm not sure. Maybe it's for change. But in any event, the starting bid on the Cigar Box Purse is just $12. So $12 is our starting bid. And the Cigar Box Purses, of course, are called that because they did take actual cigar boxes and then do the design over it. So we are $12 opening bid on this, and you can see she has lovely sparkly sequins. And Susan Jackson, you're in at 12. Susan bought Alf yesterday and bought a vase the day before, and because I hadn't sent the vase, I was able to put Alf in for free. So if you folks get multiple items within a day or two of each other, if I can combine shipping for you, I will. Or if you get multiple items on the same day. Oh, Lynn Combell at $35. Oh yes, thank you, Zeno. Zeno's asking me to make sure with the greens and blues, the lighting sometimes is a little tricky. This one looks pretty much exactly like it does in real life, though. So we are at $35 is our current high bid. I better get that up so that you can see. There we are. So Lynn at 35. Yes, the picture really does look clear. I'm very happy with the new camera. Again, Zeno is a technical wizard in my estimation because I am not, so he can do no wrong as far as that goes. And so, yes, thankfully we have great looking thing. So $35 is our high bid. And I'm going to call fair warning, which means that you've got about 15 or 20 seconds to put in your highest bid. If there's anyone else out there, speak now or forever hold your peace, as they say. I love when they say that at weddings. I want to see someone jump up, but no one ever has. This one is about ready to go. And we'll give it just a second longer here, and then it is going once, going twice, and this one is sold bid end. And that goes to Lynn Combell for $35. Thank you very much. I think it's a wonderful, cute little piece that you'll have a lot of fun with. So I will make a note of you here. Okay, now this, Jan, I am a technological doofus. Well, Jan, you and I are soulmates then. I really kind of have to be led. I'm like a monkey with, you push a button and a banana comes out. And as long as I learn the buttons to push in the right order and there's no deviation, I can do great. Now, our next piece, this is something that's a little off of our track today, although you could put it in your boudoir, but I put this aside because we have a viewer who requested this, and she works and is a teacher and could not be here for yesterday's viewer choice, and I thought, well, I'll just hold this out. It would be fun to drape jewelry over. I have a friend who she loves to take pieces like this and then just drape things on top of them in her boudoir, so I could see it being used there. But these are Resin Grapes in a wonderful ruby red color. This one we are starting the bid at $18, so start bidding at $18. This is a neat little resin grape piece because they used a really nice wood burl. A lot of these were handmade, or you could buy a kit and make these in the late 60s and early 70s. They weren't all just commercial, so they don't all look the same. And whoever got this one had a really nice burl piece. Elsie Bray is in at $18. And Carol Bloom also at 18. Willie Joe is at 20. Now, in the event of a tie, whoever at the end bid first is the winner of the items. So just to let you know, this one doesn't have a lot of leaves. Some people would put a lot of the plastic leaves with them, and some not so many. I got a kick out of, I was watching an episode of That 70s Show about a week ago, and she was bragging about how she had her lovely grapes everywhere and what a nice home she had. And actually, I love the set of that show because they did have resin grapes all over, and they're awesome. So Elsie is at 23. I don't see the ruby very often. I mean, it's a small cluster because it's a small piece to work with. This measures somewhere around 10 inches by 10 inches by 6. But very pretty. I love the color. I think they're just really neat. And they are Christmas colors, so it seemed appropriate. And I think that we are going to call fair warning here. So get your bid, your last bid in. If you are interested in this piece, this is your chance for it. It should ship fairly easily. We've got plenty of bubble wrap, and it should fit in a decent box. So even though it's got some weight, it shouldn't be too big, so it shouldn't cost too much. Okay, folks, so we are just about done here. We are going once. We are going twice. And we are sold bid end, and that is going to Elsie Bray for $23 plus shipping. We do calculated shipping on everything that we sell, and we can indeed do the combination of things, combined shipping, of course. So Elsie, those are going to you, and that's great. I will look forward to getting those out in the mail. I'm pretty caught up with all the shipping, and I did invoices this morning, so everyone should be up to current as far as that goes. I know some of you folks have bought things over a few days, and so we're kind of waiting to see the total before we get to shipping on that, and that's just fine. If you think you are going to buy multiple items, we can hold and combine. Okay, now we had a request for brooches. And so this is going to be a choice. And the first ones that we're going to do are actually, their thing in common is they're all wooden and hand painted. And this little guy, let's see where I am here. This little guy is going to want to flop around, so we might have to hold him. These wood pins are starting at $8. So $8, and it's choice. So $8 buys one of them, or you can take all three for $8 a piece. So $8 is our opening bid. Now, the two that are painted with the flowers are actually Russian, and they will date to sometime in the 1970s or 80s period. You typically see them painted on black, and Stephanie at Thrifting Adventures is in at $8. You don't see them, Carol Bloom at $9. You don't really see them on a colored field very often. The pink and the green are unusual for that. And so, let's see, Aiden is in at 10. Let me get over here. We'll add that in. And I'm covering up the ones on the bottom because those are for later. Now, the little bird on the other side there, he's really cute, and he's Japanese from about 1950. Now, what happened in yes, let me hold these closer. That's a good idea. Now, what happened in the Second World War is that we couldn't import Austrian crystal or any of that stuff, or the rhinestones that we were used to using. So wooden carved jewelry became something that was made in the US. Then after the war, it was still popular. And so this little one has a little circle on the back that I might be able to show you since he's in with the pin. No, I don't think I can do that. But it has a little circle paper tag saying made in Japan. So we have Aiden as the current high bidder at $10. And let me get back over here. Get that ready. Okay. So tilt around for glare. Yes, it's a little hard to see. So $10 is the current high bid, and it is going to be your choice of one of these three or multiples if you like them. I think we'll call fair warning here. So $10 is the high bid. If any of these interest you at this point, bid more than $10 and put in your last bid, because we just have a few seconds left to go here. Carol is in at 11. And we are going to count down now for going once, going twice, and we are sold and bid end. So Carol Bloom is the high bidder. Carol, if you will let us know in the chat here which one or ones you want, then the backup bidder will have a choice if there's any left that they want. So Carol, can you please let us know now which one or ones of these that you're interested in at $11 each? And while we wait for that, I'll actually put your name down here so that we know. I like to do choices. Carol will take all at $11 each. So we've got 33 for all three. Okay, Carol, well, that's a good buy. I think you did very well there. So we will set those aside and continue on with our next piece. Our next piece is something that, sorry, our floor is a little shaky here. I try not to move too fast, but I noticed the camera wobbled a little there. So our next piece is going to be a really pretty thing that I got very recently in Havana, Florida. I haven't even done the video yet for the regular channel of where I got this, but I'll show that sometime in the next week or two. But this is a reverse painted silhouette, and it's a different kind of reverse painted silhouette. We're going to start the bid on this at $12. So $12 is your starting bid. What's different about this from most reverse painted silhouettes? Well, there's a few things. First of all, it has an artist signature, and we almost never see artist signatures on these. This one is, yes, the two of them are kissing. It's very sweet. They're quarters, you know, and this was in the French style. She's got a goatee type dress. We've got Willie Joe is our first bid at $15. Let me get that up there. And Susan Jackson is at 20. Okay, let me get back into the right space here. Thank you. So we're at $20 is the current bid. What's really sweet about this is not just that it has that, but the other thing that's unusual is the backing here. Instead of being foil backed like a lot of 1930s and 40s silhouettes, this one has milkweed in the back, and I'll hold it up a little closer. So that's that sort of stringy that you see in the background. Susan Jackson is at 25 in the current high bidder. This is something that I think is really neat when they've got the milkweed background. And the people who made these, as well as the lampshades that Van Briggle made that had milkweed in it, the staff working at these places would have to go out during the season and harvest milkweed so that they would have it to use as the backings for these things. So I just think it's a really neat story. And Susan Jackson is our current high bidder at $25. And we are going to call fair warning here. So if you want to put a higher bid in, this is your last chance, because soon it will be to the end of the auction. So the frame seems to be in really good shape, and it's a nice medium size. The image area is about 8 inches wide. And I just thought it was really something a little more special. It's just a little different than we usually see. And I like that the person who made it actually signed their name to it. So we are at the point where we are going once, we are going twice, and we are sold bid end. And Susan Jackson, you are the winner of that item at $25. Thank you very much. I think it's very pretty and you'll really enjoy it. Let me just make a note of this. And we will go on to our next item. Now this one is going to be, there we go. This one's going to be another thing. These are more along the line of sparkly and show-offs. This is something to take out with you when you're out on the town. Your nickname was the Kissing Bandit. Well, there you go. Well, that will be a lovely memory, and I'm sure there must be a reason that you got that, but I will just leave that alone. Anyway, these are sparkly and fun. And I've noticed that people in our audience seem to appreciate and understand these better than the general people who come to antique shows do. People online seem to really appreciate compacts, and that's what these are. And these are starting again at $12 each. So your starting bid is $12. And there's your choice of two. You can have one or the other or both. So let's talk about them a little bit. We have one that has blue rhinestones in gold in that diamond pattern. I think that's very pretty, and that's going to be $19.50. Stephanie from Thrifting Adventures is in at $12. And then the mother of pearl is this nice overlaid here. And let's show that first a little closer, because up close, I think you really see the different colors that you get with mother of pearl. LaDonna Durbin at $20 is our current high bidder. This one is a commercial compact, meaning that it was made to put something specific in it, and what it was made for was something called cream puff. We'll get that to come in there. There we go. The cream puffed compact. This was Max Factor. And Max Factor, of course, did the stuff for a lot of the celebrities back in the day. So they became very famous doing a lot of the makeup for the Hollywood stars. 25, LaDonna Dervin is at. And when we open this up, I try to be really careful about condition and things. Let me see there. This one is nice because it's got its original puff. The mirror's in good shape. The mirror's just a little filmy because it does have its original makeup in it as well. So it's a nice little powder case with the hard powder. It looks like it's never been used. This should date to about 1960. The other one is this neat one with the blue diamond and the rhinestones. And this one, and yes, Jan Goodwin, they have been around for more than a century. They were one of the first. Now this one, let's see if we can get this to come out right. Okay. This one also has its mirror. The mirror is a little bit worn on the silvering here, but this one is a Dorset Fifth Avenue. Dorset was very famous for doing all sorts of stuff in New York, including little pieces of furniture and acrylic and lucite in the long run. Now this one is a powder puff with a screen, but it was never filled with powder, so it is actually new and never used in any way. So I'm going to put that powder puff back and we'll hold both those up. One thing with compacts, it's really better if you push the button in when you click them so that you're not clicking that mechanism really hard over and over. They will eventually wear out. And thanks, Karen. I think they're very pretty as well. So it's the choice of two. LaDonna Dervin at $25 is our high bidder, and this is fair warning, folks. And that means that you've got one last chance to put a bid in before we wrap up the bidding on these. $25 choice, so that means one or the other, or you can have both at $25 each, if that remains the high bid. And so I just think these are really pretty. I've always liked compacts. It's neat to see people collecting them again, and I look for them everywhere I go. They're not that easy to find in good shape. A lot of them got used to death, and they're scraped and scratched and messed up, but I got these in Kansas in a little shop. And I don't think people in rural Kansas get to go out and use these very often, so they were just pristine. We are going once, we are going twice, and we are sold and bid end. And that is LaDonna Dervin. You are the high bidder. If you would like both of them, please let us know in the chat, or if it's just one or the other, then the backup bidder would have the option on the other one. So if you'll let us know in the chat, LaDonna, which one is for you, or if both are for you, and we'll take it from there. Both, very good. They'll match your Mimas. That's really neat that you have a piece that came from a family member like that. I think it's really nice when you're able to. Sorry, let me get this down. I'm trying to talk and write at the same time. I think it's really nice when you're able to take a family collection and extend it a little, and it just makes it special, especially when it all comes from one original source that was family. So I think that's really neat. Okay, let's see here. Next. All right, so our next bid is going to be for some really long beads, and it's a choice of one of three strands. These are starting at $12 each. They each have a little different story and a little different age. So let me hold them up where you can see them first. These are big bead strands. People seem to like to wear these with sweaters, and all of these seem like something that could accessorize a Christmas outfit, because we've got the red here, the clear against a black sweater or a blue, and then we've got the amber and the red. Let's talk about the lengths here in just a minute, but first let me tell you the starting bid on these bead strands is $8. So $8 is your starting bid. I'm going to make a note of that here. Now let's talk about lengths. The way you measure lengths, and we'll actually do these in order of age. Laura Orton at $12 is our initial bidder. Now, when you measure a necklace, you actually measure it this way and then double it. You do it when they're flat. So this is 12 inches, and that makes it a 24-inch strand, because if you open it up and laid it flat, it would be 24 inches around. So that's how they measure necklaces. Willie Joe is at, okay, Laura Orton is still our high bidder at 12. And let me see if I can get that on the screen. There we go. Okay, now this particular set is a company called Judy Lee, and these actually have the little tag. Judy Lee was one of those, like Sarah Coventry, where it was done at house parties, so you'd invite your friends over and sell them jewelry. These are plastic. Judy Lee did a lot of that sort of thing, but I like the fact that they did the gold in them. If you see here, they've got some nice detail because they're not just red. When you get down to the bottom, you actually have this gold flecking. And so I think those are kind of neat. Willie Joe is at $15. The age on Judy Lee is typically 1960s. Early to late 60s is when they were at their heyday. And so, and you can also tell 60s because you see that it's got a stone on the back, or a bead. And the reason for that is that the hairstyles were short in the early 60s and late 50s, and so you could see the back of the neck, so they wanted something that showed, so it wasn't a simple clasp. Now that brings us to our next strand I'm going to show while you guys have a chance to bid. Willie Joe is the high bidder at $15 currently. This is and it's choice between the three of these, any or all. This is the root beer and amber colored strand. This is from about 1970. But again, it's got the big stone clasp, and that's because some women wanted to wear it kind of asymmetrically, and so you'd see a big stone in the clasp. And these are all faceted. It's a nice heavy strand, and the size on this one, whoops, let's get that ruler back up here. There we go. Size on this one is approximately 26 inches for the larger strand, because it's 13 down. Laura Orton, you are at $16 for choice at this point. And so this one does not have a maker name on it. It does seem to be well made, and the clasp is good. You always want to check clasps and the tightness of the beads and make sure you're not shedding or going to lose any. And then the last strand, they are, well, hi Nancy. Amber Citron, well, they are plastic. They are plastic fantastic. All three of these strands are various forms of acrylic or lucite, or in the case of the Judy Lee, they actually were nylon. But this particular strand here, it's coming in better. This one is more contemporary, and you can tell that by this clasp here. I always like to, yeah, they're a great color for plastic, Nancy, and they're not worn. That's why I picked them up. I don't usually look for those. See this hook here? That is an indication of more contemporary jewelry. They did not use this kind of a safety hook until about the 1990s. And I agree, Daniel. I think Zeno should be here to model all of this, but he's not really a jewelry wearer. These are big and heavy, and they are 20-inch strand, and lucite beads are very popular right now, again, and some of these go for pretty big money. I have a set that's from a consignor that is significantly more money than we're charging here, but this set came to me inexpensively, and I thought I'd just share the wealth. That is a lobster claw clasp. Absolutely right, Nancy. That is what they are called. And we are at $16. I am going to call fair warning here. And so this will be for the winner. Currently, Laura Orton is the high bidder, and the winner will get their choice of 1, 2, or 3 at $16 a piece. Willie Joe is in at $18, and we are at fair warning, so please get your final bids in now, because this auction will be closing very, very shortly. But they're just fun. I even know people who take broken ones of these and they use them as garland on their trees, like the old glass garland. And that's actually a pretty cool thing to do. There's some amazing things you can do. I worked in a mall once where a dealer brought in 1,000 salmon plugs that were all the same, and we decorated a tree with salmon plugs, and tons of people bought them and took them home and hung them on their tree. I thought that was so funny. Daniel is in at 20, and we are going once. We are going twice. And we are, let me get back to that screen. We are sold and bid end. Oh, and Willie Joe came in at the last second with $22. Willie Joe, you are the high bidder. If you will please let us know which of these is of interest to you, I will offer the others to the backup bidders and see if they're interested in those. So we'll just wait for a minute to let Willie Joe tell us whether the clear or the amber or the red is her taste, and then we'll see what the backup bidders think of what's left. So one of the reasons I like to do choice is because I figure, and this is how real auctions work too, is that, it gives everybody a chance and whoever likes it the best. So the amber and the clear are going to Willie Joe. Daniel, are you interested in the red for any reason? Because you are the backup bidder on those. Let us know in the chat if the red Judy Lee beads are of interest to you. They will be yours. Otherwise, we'll put them aside for future, and you're out. Okay, very good. I got it. So Willie Joe, you get the amber and the lucite at $22 each. I will make a note of this, and we will move on to our next item. Let's see. Okay. Now, our next item it's a choice, and I picked these in part because one of these was a viewer choice. And when the viewer chose one and I looked at the others, I thought, you know what, this is a neat thing. We'll give people a choice of these because they are absolutely boudoir items. They are head vases. And we have a selection of 3 here. 1, 2, how am I going to do this? Let's see. Okay, so we have the lovely woman with the big feathery headdress. We have the gold figure in the turban. And we have the gal here with the big neck ruff and the big hoop earrings. These are from the period of head vases when we're starting to see Japanese production. So these are all going to be from about 1955 to 65. The starting bid on these is $12. So $12 is our starting bid. And they're all different in a little way. Now, this is an era where we're starting to see a change where the head vases are where we start to see a move away from, a more sort of racially stereotyped representation. The one in the middle is just a lovely, beautiful woman. Susan Jackson is in at $12, and no, you really don't see these much anymore, Nancy, and that's why I thought they would be fun to put up here. Willie Joe is at $15, and Jenny, it's nice to see you. I'm glad you made it to a live sale. This is number 4 of the 12 days of live sale, so there will be 8 more of these. And so let's take a look at these individually. I will start with the oldest one, and the one that's probably the least detailed in some ways is this one. But the turban is neat looking. Now, this particular one, in fact, all 3 of these were made in Japan. And so this is going, let's get it in front of my face so we can focus. There we go. What's important on the Susan Jackson at 16 is the high bidder. What's important with this particular one is that the red paint and the gold are both painted on top of the glaze. So if you used Windex or scrubbed them really hard or put them in the wrong place, you would end up with a situation where you would wear that off. So the fact that this is in good shape is actually really, really good. And it's glazed all the way to the inside because it can hold water that way. And these were actually sold as florist vases originally. And so that is the reason that it's glazed inside and out. And yes, the condition on this one really is amazing, I think. Susan Jackson at $20 is the top bidder for choice right now. Okay, the second one I'm going to show is this one. The color is close to true. This is one of these colors that doesn't show as well on camera as we'd like. It's a little bluish. Thank you. The neck ring is the Ndebele. I believe I'm pronouncing that right. African tribe. Thank you. I could not think of it, and I was going to say something else that I knew was wrong, so I thought the better of it. So thank you for sharing that, Nancy. In fact, I'm going to put that into the chat here. There we are. And I think that she's actually very graceful and elegant, really. I like the painting on her, and she has her original label, which I should have read before with my farsightedness. That would have been smart. Oh, okay, Stafford. So this is an early Stafford piece. This is going to be late 50s, early 60s, and it's got the original label there. And yes, I think she is sort of exotic. Now this one, because a lot of the painting is on the surface, is not painted inside, but it does have a clear glaze, so it would hold water as well. And yes, LaDonna, I think we all saw nudes on TV for the first time thanks to National Geographic. Carol Bloom is at 22 and is our high bidder. Let me show you the third and final one, because this is choice between the three of these or multiples if you like them. This one is also Japanese. It does not have a label on the bottom of any sort. A little bit of a sticker, it seems like, but no full label that we can see. But she's all hand-painted, mostly under the glaze. I love the big flower headdress. She reminds me of some of the women who go to the Mardi Gras in New Orleans and participate in some of the crews. I think she's just really very, very pretty and sweet. And I like all the hand painting on her. Susan Jackson is at 25. And again, the inside of this one, I don't know if I can even show you because she's a little more unusual mold, the shape. So these were a little harder to do. So let's see here. I will quickly put in Susan Jackson as our current high bidder at $25. And this is $25 choice between the three of these. And we are at fair warning, folks. So if you are interested in these, this is your final opportunity to make a bid. Let me see if I can't get these to where we can see all of them at once. If I hold her by her hoop earrings, I think I can show you all of them safely. There we go. Nice juggling act here. 27, and we are at going once. We are going twice. And we are sold. And bid end. And I'm sorry to say the last bid came in just a second late. So Willie Joe, $27, and you have choice. So if you'll let us know in the chat now which one you are interested in, or ones, and then we will ask the backup bidder if she is interested in any of the ones that remain. So we'll just give Willie Joe a moment to comment. But I like doing these choices because, you know, you can't account for taste. What one person thinks is great. The one that I was asked to put up for the bid today, the blue one. Okay, very good. Susan Jackson, you are the backup bidder. Are you interested in either of these head vases? And we'll give Susan Jackson just a moment to respond here. And I'm sorry, I know that sometimes you folks see differently, but I have to go by the screen where I type in bid end. It's the only way to make it fair and consistent. And of course, I see it before you do. So, but Susan Jackson, are you interested? The lady in the white. Okay, that is for Susan Jackson. And that's very interesting because the one that the viewer asked me to put into the auction is this one. So if you are the viewer who asked me to put this in the auction and you didn't get it, well, please contact me at theantiquenomad@gmail.com and we will make arrangements. Let me just make a quick note here. Okay, so Susan Jackson is our bidder there, and Willie Joe, there we go. Okay, very good. So we've got everything sussed out, and let's go onward. The next item is also something that might be seen in the boudoir, and the reason for that is that it is a very pretty Italian glass perfume bottle from about 1970, and this one is going to start at $24. So $24 is your starting bid. This is an art glass perfume. This was not made for a company to sell perfume in. This was something you took home and you actually did your own perfume in it, or you decanted commercial perfume into this bottle. It's got a nice little ground stopper. This would have been Carol Bloom at 24 is our opening bid. This would have been, you can see the gold fleck in there. This likely is Murano. I'm always reluctant to say Murano if I don't know for sure, because lots was made in Venice, but not on the island of Murano. But it is hand blown. You can see the little pontil mark in the bottom there. And I just love the ribbons of color. I think this is just really pretty. All of the deep ruby, the gold, the black. Lynn Combel is at, Combel, I know how to say that, is at $30. Let me try to get my cursor to where I can do this. There we go. I've seen these in a lot of different colors. You see them in Latticino. They were very popular in the late 60s and early 70s. A lot of them were Christmas gifts, actually. So we're at the right time of the year for this. So Lynn is our high bidder at 30 currently. It looks, I like that it sort of looks like a balloon. And I just think these are really gorgeous and such deep, rich colors. So I always pick these up whenever I can find them. And I am going to, let's see, I am going to call fair warning here. So please get your last bids in. If you are interested in this piece, now is the time. It is a really sweet thing. I wish I could say I knew a maker of this. I just know that it's Italian. I've never seen one of these with a label on it or identified as to maker, but they are really sweet, and someone's going to get a good deal on this one, it looks like, because we are going once, we are going twice, and we are sold, bid end, and $30. Lynn Combel is the winner of this piece. Thank you very much. I think it's very sweet. I actually bought that when I was shopping with Jocelyn in Pennsylvania, the crazy lamp lady. She took us to a mall and it was sitting there in a showcase. I had Kat from Nurse Flipper's son on one arm and was reaching into the case and getting it out with the other. So that was a fun moment. So I have a little attachment to that one. So Lynn, I'll make a note that that goes to you. And yes, I agree, LaDonna. I think that was a steal. Hi, Leanne. Nice to have you in. And yes, it's practically dark still. Yes, it's chilly and cold somewhere. Okay, Isabel, you would like to purchase the last. Okay, Isabel, I'm going to make a note of that. And if you'll go ahead and send me your information, we'll get that taken care of. So good. We got everybody what they were looking for. That's terrific. All right. So I will put that aside. Judy Scalet. Hi, nice to see you. I hope I'm saying that right. It might be Scalet. I think I knew that at one time. Oh, Seattle, of course. Yes, I hear you have had nothing but pouring rain, and that's often where I am this time of year. So I have to admit it's going to be 70 degrees in Kentucky today, and we're quite excited about that. Sorry, had to rub it in. Okay. We're going to go back to some jewelry, and this is going to be choice again. And we've got 3 bracelets, and they're all a little bit different, and they all fit my wrist. And the reason I say that is because my wrist, I think I'm about 4.5, 5 inches total. Let me see if we can measure that. And the reason I try these on when I buy them is I'm fine boned for a man, so if it fits me, it will fit most women. And yes, it's 5 inches around. So here we are. These are the 3, and again, we're going to start at $12 each, and we have 3 different bracelets here. And we'll show them individually, but at first I just want to show you up close here. We've got a charm bracelet, we have a beaded bracelet, and we have a Millefiori style bracelet. So we'll talk about these. Again, $12 the starting bid if you see something you like. I want to talk about the charm bracelet first. This one has a tag, and it is Monet. So we actually know the maker on this particular one. Monet is a pretty good jewelry company. They've been around a long time. I think they're one of the few that are still left. I think you may be able to read that on there, actually. So, and charm bracelets are really fun because they tell stories. So the story this one tells is somebody was interested in ballet. They were athletic. They liked dogs. Carol Bloom is in at $12. Here's a park bench which has rhinestones in it. I thought that one was really kind of cute. I think it's almost to be two little hearts, so I think it's for lovers sitting on a bench. We've got skis, so somebody was a skier. Now these are just costumes, so they're not, they're not gold or anything like that. Graduation day with the graduation cap. Somebody must have taken a trip because they've got a jetliner. And then the very last one is a Christmas tree. Long before Pandora came about, Lynn is at $15 is the high bidder. Long before Pandora, people were collecting charms and telling stories with them. The second one that is choice out of these is this one, which is Millefiori Glass. And you can see it's got the little glass rods in the black. So it hangs also like a charm bracelet. And I thought that was fun. It's got a couple of fleur-de-lis as spacers, but I like the black glass stones. I just think that those are really neat. And I like the way that they have the gold hoops around them too. This would just be really fun. It's got some motion. It'll swing when you dance. I just think it's a really neat looking piece. And then the third one, now this one is interesting because this was done around 1970 using older pieces. I know the gal who's now 89 who had it done, so she told me all about it. She wanted something that looked like peridot and amethyst. These are just glass beads. And she had, okay, Susan Jackson is at $17. And you see it's a 4-strand, but she had it done deliberately by her jeweler on an old clasp. So the clasp is something that we see that's probably 1940 vintage, or maybe even a little earlier. Lynn Comble is at $20. And the clasp works well. It's important with these to give them a little tug, and also, gently, when you're finding bracelets out there and they're beaded or necklaces, give them a gentle tug just to make sure that the line isn't rotten and that they're going to fall apart on you. Because sometimes with old jewelry, if it was stored badly, I found costume jewelry in boxes in barns that have been exposed to heat and cold for years. So it does happen. So Lynn at $20 is the high bidder, and we are going to call fair warning here. This is for choice. You can have 1, 2, or 3, and whoever gets the 1 or 2, if there's any left, then we'll let the backup bidder have a chance at it. So we are at $20, fair warning. What was the clasp on the Millefiori one? Oh, that's a good thing to show, yes. Because it has this kind of a folding clasp. Let me get out of the way so it will show. So it just clicks in like this. And they're pretty safe. They stay on pretty well that way. That's a good mechanism from the 1960s that we see. And they hold on really well. And then the Monet has the same type of clasp, but it also has a safety chain, which is more 1970s. So we are at going once. We are at going twice. And we are sold. And we have bid end. And Lynn, for $20, you are the high bidder and you get your choice. So if you'll let us know in the comments which one you choose, and then we will offer the others to the backup bidders. So here are the 3 there. They came into focus again. So Lynn, if you'll just let us know which 1 or 2 or 3 you want, and then we'll see if Lynn would like all 3. Well, that was very easy, Lynn. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that very much. We will put those aside, and I will make a note of the total price, and we've got it. Okay, now we're going to have more Bakelite in the next sale as well, but someone requested that we do some Bakelite, so this is going to be a choice as well. These are going to start at $12. So let me see how I can hold these where you can see them. They're starting at $12. All of these are tested as Bakelite. And we have 3 different types of things here. Rather different, but they're all in the Bakelite era. Now you see the ones on the left here are hoop earrings. and they have a nice clasp on them, and they clasp well. That's important. That's another thing to check with jewelry when you're shopping, is to make sure that the clasp actually will work and they'll hold on your ears. So these are clip earrings. Not everybody, I'll set these down. Carol Bloom is our starting bid at $12. Not everybody can wear pierced ears or wants to all the time. And so we do actually sell a lot of clip earrings in this business. And yes, it is Bakelite, Elsie, and they're wonderful. I love the green. It has just a little bit of butterscotch swirl. Isabel is at 13. So this is a cute little pair. They're going to date to sometime in the 1940s. And no, I won't put them on, but since I have my hair back today, you can see they have a nice big hoop, so they're going to actually show. Carol Bloom at $18 is our current high bidder. The second piece, and again, this is choice, so the winner gets to choose one or all at the winning bid. This is tiled wood and amber Bakelite, so it's actually the see-through Bakelite. And the wood tiles, this tells you again 1940s, because this is when wood jewelry starts to be really popular. It's got a nice catch on it here. So again, it's something that would fit my wrist, I'll show you, and so it'll probably fit the average size woman's wrist because it's about 5 inches. Susan Jackson is at 20, and yes, they're lovely on me, thank you. Yeah, green is, that shade of green is not really my color, but it's somebody's. Carol Bloom at 22 is our current high bidder. And then I'll show the last piece. This one is a buckle. Now, some people will actually have belts made to wear buckles with because buckles are so cool. And the green is Bakelite. The metalwork is gold tone. This is going to be 1940s also. Notice it's a little darker shade of green. Susan Jackson is at 25, our high bidder currently. And then it's got the clasp in the middle here, which just goes between the two. Well, if you had a belt with it, it would hold up better. But I see people taking buckles and repurposing them a lot, and that's why I thought I would include this. Some people will use them as belts. You can just have a fabric belt made and hook into this. But B. Gatchel, $28 is our high bidder. So these are, oh, well, oh, to be me too. Well, I'm glad you're here anyway. Late or not, it's good to have you here. And we're running just a little behind today because we've had viewers' choices, but I figure it's a Saturday. I don't think there's another live sale right behind us, so we'll just go over time just a wee bit today. Okay, let me see if I can do this. No, let's try holding it with the other hand. So these are the three. B. Gatchel is our high bidder. We are at fair warning, so get your last bids in because these are going to sell. The high bidder will have first choice. If they don't take all of them, then the backup bidders will be able to choose between what's left. So we've got the clip earrings in Bakelite, the buckle in Bakelite, and the wood and Bakelite tiled bracelet. And we are going once. We are going twice. And we are sold. And bid end, and it looks like B, you are the high bidder. So B, if you'll please tell us which of these, which 1, 2, or 3 you would like in the chat, then we will go ahead and go from there and see if there's any interest in the backup bidders for the ones that are left. I'm going to go ahead and set these down for a minute while we wait for you in the chat. Thank you all for being with me on a Saturday. I wasn't exactly sure what it would be. The earrings and the belt buckle go to B. Okay, so let me make a note of that. The buckle and the earrings are B. And so those are 28 each. And then our backup bidder was Susan Jackson at $25. If you are interested in the hoop earrings, please let me know in the chat and I can put those aside for you. All right. Okay, so we've got just a couple things left. We've got 2 more bids to have here for the day, and we will do this one first. I think these are so pretty, and this was in the thumbnail because I just love this stuff. And these are mesh purses well, one is steel mesh and one is the painted mesh. No, Susan, I'm sorry. B does not want the earrings. The earrings are the thing that are still available. If you want the earrings, please let me know. Wait a second. Okay, I better. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, you're all trying to tell me you are correct. I made a mistake. Earrings and the belt buckle sold. I apologize, Susan. It is the wood, it's the wood and Bakelite tiled bracelet that is left. Yes, Susan, I better slow my roll just a little bit. Okay, we got it right this time. B's getting the green pieces, the earrings and the buckle, and the bracelet is left. And oh, good. Well, that worked out great. Susan wanted the bracelet. Thank you all for keeping me on course here. That would not be a good mistake to make. I want to make sure people get what they want and also that they actually get the things they bid on. So thanks for helping me out, folks. I'm learning. This is day 4. I will be honest, part of the reason I wanted to do a bunch of lives in a row is to get used to the idea because I do them so seldomly ordinarily that I kind of lose my rhythm in between. So I'm hoping that this will be enough practice. All right, let's try moving on now that I have that correct. These both came out of an estate in Florida just last week, and I just think that they're really neat. And these are going to start at $24 each, which is a screaming deal. So, but I figured we'll start them low and let's just see where they go. The one I'm holding here, I'll talk about that first. 24 is the starting bid, and Carol Bloom is in at 24 for the starting bid. Now this one is going to be a little older. This is late Gibson Girl era, so probably 19 teens. It's just got the one blue stone, and they really are cute. LaDonna Durbin at 40 is our current high bidder. And then when you open it up, it's this clamshell, and this one opens very wide, which is nice. Now, this style typically didn't have a liner. They just were made open like this, and you just threw your change and maybe your dance card and something like that in it. LaDonna Durbin is at 55. This particular one is going to be German made. Now, I do want to show for full disclosure that while it's in good shape overall, there are a few little, let me get out where this will focus. There are a few little snags in the handle here from being used at some point. It's intact and it's complete, but it's not, how can I do this so that it will focus? Let me put my hand behind it. I really want you to see this. There we go. That's the condition of the handle. A lot of people hang these on the wall as decoration, and that's where they were when I bought them. 65 is the current high bid. And then the other one, which is very pretty, is Whiting and Davis. Now, I want to be, again, full disclosure, there are a few little paint flecks here. There's a few little places where the paint is not perfect. One side seems to be better than the other. This has a little bit of paint loss here. That is typical with these. These were made by Whiting and Davis, and they are still in business because they were smart. They got celebrities to wear and show their stuff. They are still making purses today, although they don't really look like this. And this one, I know it's Whiting and Davis because it has the little metal tag right in here that you can see kind of under my middle finger there. That says Whiting and Davis. We are at $100 top bid. This one is great because of the pastels and this very deco looking this frame. The frame is here and that's very art deco. So is the screen paint on here is a very deco color. It's just a really pretty one. And we are at 150. LaDonna Durbin is our high bidder currently. And I will put that up there. And we will call fair warning on this, but this is a really beautiful one. It is one of the best ones that I've had in quite a while. The colors are really great, and I just think it's very special. And so 150 is our high bid, and it is choice between the two, although I have a feeling now that I see where the bids have gone, which one will be the choice. But we will see because we are Going once. We are going twice. Let me get in the frame here. And we are sold. And at bid end, let me try to get this in. There we go. It really is exciting. And LaDonna, don't worry, you got it for your original bid of $150. You do not have to pay the $30 extra. That's part of why I like the bid end thing, is that, I want you to get what you want, and I don't want you to overpay. And I think that that's a very, very nice thing that you bought there. So, LaDonna, I am going to go out on a limb and say it's probably the screen painted one you wanted, and that's what I thought. If someone is interested in the other one, I will ask you in this case to go ahead and contact me by email, and we can talk about it at theantiquenomad@gmail.com. Let me just make a note here. LaDonna is the high bidder. And it's just such a beautiful piece. I had a friend who had a wall full of them, and she would just take one off the wall and take it with her and wear it once in a while. And it was just the neatest thing. It really is gorgeous, LaDonna, and I think it's a great thing to collect. Well, that brings us, we're about 5 minutes after time, but again, I don't think we're stepping on any of the other broadcasts, so we're going to have our last, here we go. This is our 12th and, well, actually 13th and final auction of the day. And they are brooches again. We had a request for brooches, and someone specifically really liked the one in the middle because this is Celtic Jewelry. These brooches are starting at $12. So $12 is the starting bid. And let me show them up close a little bit better so you can see them in the light. None of these are signed by a maker. We don't have a maker's mark on any of these, but they are very pretty, I think. We have three different eras of jewelry here. We have the 1960s in this big cluster here, and Lynn Comble at 15, Oh to Be Me Too at 16 is our high bidder. Now this one, you notice I'm having to hold it because this flower cluster, the pin comes up from the bottom. And that's something that was typical in jewelry up until the 1960s. The pins actually started from the bottom rather than the top. This is each, Lottie. So this is choice, meaning you get to choose. The high bidder gets to choose. The high bidder currently is Lynn Comble at $20 because she had the bid in first. And that means it'll be the choice between the three of them for the high bid. So that's the first one. This is a 1960s piece. I like the big flower cluster. It seems to be really well made. Lisa Hemphill at 25, Lynn Comble at 30 is the high bidder. This centerpiece is Celtic Jewelry, made about 1970. It is not sterling silver. I just want to let you know this is all costume, but it's really neat, and it's Celtic jewelry, and you can tell because the Celts, in addition to doing knots and various designs that are of Celtic origin, also they did multiple colored stones in their jewelry. Lynn Comble at 50 is the high bidder currently. And that's just a neat piece. And people really like collecting Celtic jewelry. It's something that, the people who go to the Highland Games and stuff like that collect, but it's not strictly limited to that. And then the other one I'm going to hold up close is from the 1980s, and it is an exotic bird pin in flight. And I just thought that was very pretty with the enameling. So let's see. Oh, yes, Susan is asking about Vlogmas. No, Vlogmas is wonderful, and I'm sure that we'll do more. It's just that Zeno does a wonderful job with the editing, and we were talking, and, not every day is fabulously exciting, and day 3 was kind of a tough day. I had a root canal appointment. We really didn't do a lot of things that were fun, so we'll do more Vlogmas, I'm sure, but it's going to be when it seems like the mood is right and strikes us. So $50, we are at fair warning, folks. We're going to count down, and this auction is going to be able to wrap up. Oh yes, well, I'm not thrilled about the root canal too, but you know what, I'll live. I've had one before, and we'll just get another one, and my teeth will still be there, so that's important. So we are at fair warning. Lynn Comble at $50 is the high bidder, and we are going once. We are going twice, and we are sold and bid and oh gosh, I'm sorry to say that the bid came in too late. I have to go on my end with what I see come up first because that's where it's coming from. So Lynn at $50 is the high bidder. And if you are interested in one or all of these, please let me know, Lynn. And then if there's any left, then we'll offer Beth the backup bid. So please let me know. And while we're talking, we will have another sale tomorrow at noon. And I will have to direct you to the community tab or to the middle one. Okay, so the Celtic piece is going to Lynn Comble. Beth, if you are interested in either of the other pieces, please let me know in the chat and I'll be happy to make them available to you. And that would be at your backup bid of $40. So let me see here. We've got Lynn. And so tomorrow's theme, I haven't quite decided yet. I've got a couple of different ideas, so it'll just be a surprise. But we'll let you know in the community tab, and we'll let you know elsewhere. And Beth would like the bouquet, so that worked out. I'm glad. It's you guys all play really well together, and I'm really glad that you both got to get something that you really liked. And so, and Beth, you even got it for a little bit less, so that's great. Let's see. So Beth gets the bouquet, Lynn gets the Celtic piece, and I am so glad that you all joined me today. This was a lot of fun again. We ran a little over time, but I think that it's because we just did a lot of choices, and that meant more people got to get stuff, and that just makes me very happy. We will combine polar bears and art glass. Okay, I'll be looking for, I don't know that I have any polar bears, but I will be looking for more art glass for future sales. We've got a bunch of stuff on tap, so we'll see you tomorrow at noon Eastern. Thank you so much. Those of you folks who had winning bids, please get your information to me so we can get this sent out to you to enjoy your stuff. And we will see you again tomorrow. Thanks so much.